Ben, this isn't just a difference in opinion. You're wrong. You don't even understand the arguments. You're getting owned by TikTokers. Hey, how's about we take a look at a Ben Shapiro video, huh? This is my new favorite genre, by the way. I can't get over it. I really can't get over it. And after this, we're going to take a break on him because I know that I've been milking this cow for a while, but lol. Ben Shapiro reacts to insane woke TikToks. I love conservatives reacting to the TikToks. It is really funny. We've seen Michael Knowles do it, and that was great. But we all love Ben. Ben's the OG. He's given us a face right off the get-go.
Today, we are going to take a look at some of the most woke TikTok clips out there. Now,
yes, please.
My producers tell me these are particularly difficult to watch, but I will be the judge.
All right. Okay, so we are going to, in addition to commenting, we're going to rate how woke these TikToks are, okay? Because if these end up not being especially woke TikToks, I'm going to be really disappointed. All right, let's get the Hello Fellow Children Marvel movie reference out of the way.
You may regret that.
Before we begin,
thank you.
I want to give a shout out to Giant Partners for sponsoring this video.
Cupiosexual people are asexual.
Fun fact, to Ben Shapiro, any wife or girlfriend is a giant partner.
Sexual people who still desire a sexual relationship but don't experience sexual attraction. Cupiosexual people may decide to have a sexual relationship despite not feeling sexual attraction while others don't. Both are completely valid and communication is key.
Nice.
Hope I could help. Check out my hashtag VampireKidExplains for more.
Is this a vampire? Okay, TikTok, you can't get away with this, okay? Never mind.
It did. It helped. It helped.
Oh,
I
thanks.
now understand nothing about what just happened. How hard do we have to work to come up with sexual minorities now? Right? We have such a viciously intolerant...
Wait, how does he not understand? That it just said right there. It was even subtitled. It's right. Nothing about this is allegorical or metaphorical. It's right there. You can say that you don't care, but how is this hard to understand? It's just a definition. You're reading from a dictionary.
Not feeling sexual.
Cis patriarchal society. Intolerant, brutal, sexist, heteronormative, cis patriarchal society. We have alienated so many people that they have to work so hard to come up with being a member of a sexual minority. That used to just like a person who didn't want to have sex, but who sometimes has sex. How do you exactly, do you like identify into it? And sometimes you're into the sex, you're no longer a cupiosexual, but this is the thing. It's all fluid, right? You can be whatever you want at any time. And no one has to verify any of this. You just declare yourself a sexual minority.
Who does Ben want verifying people's sexual identity? Who does Ben want to go around to all the woke TikTokers' house and like what do you do? Put a dipstick in the rear? What? Also, asexual is already considered like a sexual minority by default. Like it was a subset of that.
I declare.
So it's fun to watch how we
Okay. That was all right.
have created basically two categories in American society: the victimized and the victimizers. And when you create those two categories, everybody wants to be in the victimized category because you don't want to be a victimizer. So now you're like a cupiosexual or a demisexual.
I don't think demisexual is even that new of a term. The funny thing here is that nothing about the TikTok even claimed victimization. Didn't the TikTok just like explain what things are? Hey, if you like my content, I'm a vampire, hashtag or whatever. Not the, like the TikTok didn't even describe a victor-victim relationship. You are. All of Ben's content is about how it's okay to attack whites now. Whites are the last acceptable racial minority to attack. Straight white Christian man, like that thing. Like that's the conservative line, right? Like you do the victim peddling thing all the time, the victimhood stuff. This TikTok didn't even have it, you know? And if you want to talk about ways in which like asexual people are a sexual minority, yeah, I've known people who are ace who grew up and they always felt like kind of put upon because other people would try to relate to them with shared sexual identity and they never really felt it and they were never really told what being asexual was. So they thought there was something wrong with them. And yeah, like that can really suck. That seems like pretty dumb, I'd say, but I don't really like none of this is super abstract, you know?
Was the other one that was recently in the news because of Andrew Cuomo's daughter declaring herself a woman who only wants to have sex with people to whom she's emotionally attracted, which used to just be called a woman, but it's all...
Ben, I'm really sorry. if this information blows your mind, but women have been fucking dudes they don't even like for like thousands of years, okay? I'm really, really sorry. I don't know what your wife has told you or what, like, sort of... This seems to me like a component of Ben Shapiro still not knowing women can be horny. It's just a little weird.
It's all good times. You have terms for everything now. Terms up the wazoo.
Governor Abbott has just lifted the mandatory mask mandate.
I love this camera angle, by the way, where he's like looking at the screen. This is amazing. Like some Mystery Science Theater shit. This needs to be... I need to have this camera angle so you can see me like watching a big like display, you know?
Just lifted the mandatory mask mandate in the entire state of Texas. Now businesses are back at 100% capacity. So when there's a giant spike in our country, you're going to know exactly who to blame. You can say don't mess with Texas all you want. You know who can mess with Texas? The wrath of God.
True.
Viruses don't care about your weird state pride. Get over it.
Okay, first thing. That was like 2 out of 10 woke. Was that really like a woke TikTok? Saying getting rid of mask mandates will mean more COVID? Is that woke now? That's like 1.5 out of 10. I know what Ben Shapiro is going to respond with, by the way, because this is the only section of the video that I saw when I clicked through it.
Did the spike happen?
Nope.
It did not. Also,
And thankfully, I'm getting to this video a few weeks in the future. So, yeah. It actually did. This video was posted on, I believe, July 27th, which was right here. And then, there's the spike. Oops. Damn. Do you think he's going to make a public retraction of this? Probably not, right? Look at Florida, it's even worse. Yeah, well, we're talking about Texas. That's like a 1.5 out of 10 woke, and his only response to it was an empirically incorrect statement.
Also, I have a feeling this may be one of the only times this person uses God unironically. It's funny how the left will always talk about the wrath of God when all they really mean is this sort of pagan concept in which nature punishes you for not being left-wing enough. This is healthy behavior.
God does punish people for not being left-wing enough. That is completely true. 100% true.
Oh my God, other people
You go to
are going
hell.
to be mandated to wear masks post the possibility of vaccination, and you can get a vaccine anytime you want. Everybody can get one, and I can't boss people around. God will avenge himself on Texas. The most religious people are the pagan atheists.
What the fuck is he talking about? Is he trying to make the argument that the left is the one that uses religion to moralize their political positions? What?
Hi, I'm Jax, and I just came up with new neopronouns that combine he, him, she, her, and they, them.
Okay, wait. Looking good from the beginning. Getting a feeling this is going to be at least a 7 out of 10 woke.
Okay? So hear me out. They, them, theirs, okay? They, them, their, whatever you want to consider it, right? Let's take the first one, the, okay? This combines she, he, and they, right? They, the. That's what they said, you know? That's what they said.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
So the thing that I don't get about Ben, why is he confused? Like, why? First of all, that just sounds like they, them. Also, why is he confused? What's confusing about it? It was explained in perfect detail. Are you just, like, stupid? Like, you can disagree, but it's not confusing.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Also,
Okay.
I mean, just a refresher, the word the actually does have a meaning, right? Like the with 2 E's at the end means you in English. So now you're just taking that term and you've turned it not into they, but also into they and he, and also she, and they and him, but not her. That's another word. That's thers. All of this is designed to confuse.
It's for Ben. It's really not confusing. It's not confusing. It's not. Again, you can think it's dumb. It's fun. If you say this is cringe, then okay, you've brought forward a Harvard tier argument, okay? But saying you don't understand it is really revealing.
This is designed to convey less information because, as it turns out, there is no person who is male, female, and also plural. Those people don't exist.
Plural, bitch!
Nope, not a thing. But well, I mean, I guess it's better than those other neopronouns. Some people are calling themselves like unicorn, unicorn-ers. You know,
Did he get a new editor, by the way? This is some really boomer editing.
We are a childish and foolish society.
Hi there, my name is Sarah. This little cutie is my son Bennett.
Cool.
As you can see, my son is a white male.
Oh, no.
So here are some books that
Whoa! You don't know that they're a fucking guy? Wow, already a woke violation. It's already happening.
I bought to help prevent him from growing up to be awful. Starting out strong, we have C is for consent. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's a picture book that goes
I'm not defending this, by the way.
into detail about consent with your body, with family.
No thanks.
Because I'm raising a feminist, we've got A is for awesome, 20.
Is Matt just pro-rape? I actually kind of appreciate that. It's not even like his... So, Matt Walsh's problem with this isn't like the assuming that a white male would be bad. Matt Walsh's problem is that he does like raping people. So this book is worthless to him.
23 inspirational women. Finally, we have Except When They Don't, a book about boys and girls liking whatever they want, regardless of their gender.
So I want to criticize that video first and foremost, okay? There's nothing wrong with giving, like, cool books to your kid. Saying you're doing it because they're a white guy and they're going to turn out bad if you don't is really fucking weird. That is super fucking weird. And it makes it really clear that the only reason you're doing any of this is to do a woke virtue signal for your audience. Look at me, I'm a good parent. I'm gonna make sure my little white boy doesn't turn out like the others. That's really weird. Using your kids as some kind of boast for compensating for some perceived original sin for being white. Yeah, super fucking weird, okay? I give this 9.5 out of 10 cringe and the nega woke for using he, him pronouns on a baby, all right? -7 woke.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking up the number for Child Protective Services. This is a person who has a very clear set of values that she wishes to impart to her child. Her set of values suggests that her son, being white and male, is naturally inclined toward being a terrible, horrible person. And so she must indoctrinate him to believe that males and females are completely fluid categories and also...
True. Well, hold on. The books were fine. Nothing at all wrong with the books, just with the reason that they were being provided.
So that white males naturally are going to be rapey. Seems like good times over there. But here's the thing. When you're a parent, you don't get to just bring up your child like they're in a vacuum. You got to pick a value system. So here's a person picking a value system, and it has its downsides.
That's actually the most honest thing I think I've heard from Ben Shapiro in a while. You can't raise your child in a vacuum. You have to pick a value system. That's true, by the way. And here's one, and there are its downsides. That was on the cusp of being a level-headed statement.
Pronouns? They, them. Oh, I've never heard those before. What are they? They're what's known as neopronouns. What are neopronouns? They're basically your own custom pronouns.
Get ready for Ben to say this is confusing when, again, everything is being explained calmly like you would to a child.
No other pronouns seem to fit. You come up with your own pronouns. Anything can really be a pronoun.
It's true, anything.
How do I use them? It depends on the person and their pronouns. They, them follows a similar spelling to they and them. And even similar grammar rules like there and there. So they, them, themselves, theirs, things like that.
Okay, now you just sound like an actor from 1940s doing a bad German accent. What do they say? Have you talked to them?
Would you care for another Schnitzengruben?
Neopronouns are just...
I didn't get it.
You're making shit up, is what I'm getting from this. And we're all supposed to just pretend this is normal.
You do know all words are made up, Ben, right? We didn't discover them. We created them. New words are added to the dictionary all the time. In fact, aren't there some dictionary editions that are already adding some neopronouns, like they, them? Like, if they're in the dictionary, I mean, what metric for legitimacy are you looking for here? What you believe is real? Like, that's not... I don't care about that. A lot of these TikToks are really just going to be like... And I'll say it, by the way, okay? Cringy 14-year-olds on TikTok, okay? Look, regardless of your opinions on the neopronoun or the xenogender stuff or whatever the fuck, there's no denying that a lot of the content that discusses that comes from cringy 14-year-olds on TikTok. And I was cringy when I was 14. That's fine. I defend your right, okay? I defend your right to be cringy, unironically. the weirdest thing here is grown men trying to, like, get zingers off of, like, children. You know what I mean? Like, Ben Shapiro is one of the largest conservatives in media. This would be like if I was 10 times my current size, maybe 20, and then for content, I went to TikTok to find 12-year-olds reacting to Anita Sarkeesian videos, and I made fun of the 12-year-olds with fedoras, and then I handed that off to my editing company, and they put it through. And that was like a big chunk of my content, you know? That just, it seems a little odd. Yeah, I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with, like, making fun of kids online sometimes. This feels like a very committed avenue of ignoring the real arguments in favor of going after kids who are always going to be limited in their ability to advocate for the nuances of these ideas. Are these videos doing better numbers for Ben? Oh, yeah, they are. This one has nearly 2 million views. And it's from, like, just over a month ago. Yeah, they are. People love this. Because a lot of the people who watch Ben Shapiro are themselves young men, and they see this stuff on TikTok, so they want the epic logic lord Ben Shapiro to swoop in and debunk the 14-year-olds with vampire makeup talking about their pronouns, you know?
Oh my God, we're not supposed to pretend that we're going to go along with this now. Like, okay, I just
Good
felt
argument.
so, marginalized by typical human language that I've created a new set of terms in which I prefer to be referred to as and also
In the future, boys. Get ready for it, okay? We're getting there. You make fun? The answer is yes, okay? Soon, with our transhuman vocal cords, our language range will expand beyond the conventional alphabet, the glottals and the throat sounds, and we'll be able to make any kind of noise. And that's when the real fucking sick music is going to be made, okay? That's when the good shit's going to be made.
those are my new pronouns. So every time I come in the room, I want someone to say, well, instead of like, there he goes, be there goes.
Do you think this is his way of soft coming out? Like he does kind of want this a little bit, you know? I think he's softballing it a little bit. I think he kind of wants that a little bit, you know? He's testing the waters. He's like, yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if like I was a girl, you know? And I had long hair. That'd be crazy, right, guys? And he's like looking around, like seeing what his friends are reacting with, you know? I support your journey, Ben.
We are taking all of the things,
Maybe I wasn't off with the girl comparison.
like reason and human language that used to be universal and humanizing. And
Wait. When has language been universal? What? Wait, what? There's not even one English. Different people in different parts of our country speak different English. What do you mean? Oh, he's referring to before the Tower of Babel, of course. Yes, back in the good old days, you know.
and we are removing those in favor of just random good times. We'll get
We had one language all around the world, and then we built the Tower of Babel, and there was like a trans person on the highest floor, and Jesus saw them and got really mad, and since then everything's been downhill.
We'll get to more of this TikTok brilliance in just 1 second.
Oh, you're not selling shit to me, Ben.
First, every company strives to generate consistent revenue. That's just a name. You.com. Let them know.
Okay.
Shapiro Show. Head on over to giantpartners.com right now.
Whew. Okay. You know, you guys are lucky. There are ad breaks in my videos. I think we just do the random placement for them, but I don't do any fucking, in a 13-minute video, breaking it up in the middle with a goddamn ad read.
Uh-oh.
A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4.
Oh, no.
One announcer good pride. One announcer good pride. One non-binary, gender fluid, trans men and women too.
Trans men and women too. Wow. First of all, just the music.
This isn't a Lush, right? This is a Lush store. The font, yeah, this looks like a Lush. The only thing wrong with this is the complete lack of coordination, okay? If these people were on a stage, I'd be throwing tomatoes at them. And that's cringe. Apart from that, they're literally just doing a little jingle.
Trans men and women too. Wow. First of all, just the musical talent on display is spectacular. The hijacking of children into this video is also particularly spectacular.
Hijack? Okay, we're reading a little bit into this, Ben, okay? It's just children here. We're okay, jumping a couple of steps that we'd need to walk across to establish that claim.
Spectacular. I really did enjoy that. Non-binary, gender fluid, trans men, and trans women too. Extraordinary femininity demonstrated by this particular trans woman. Definitely convinces me.
Wait, that's the argument here, that you're not feminine? Wait, is this person even a trans? Wait, I don't even, did this person even make a claim as to what their gender identity was? Like, was that it? It says in the text? Let me see. Watermelon, sugar, pride, Lush. She gestured towards herself when she said trans woman, yeah? How can you even tell? You could tell me this was a cis woman, I wouldn't know. She just looks like an old lady. Like, this is like a 240p video. I'm just saying, like, it's like an old lady. I don't know. You could have told me anything.
Yeah, she calls him Dumbo.
Extraordinary femininity demonstrated by this particular trans woman. Definitely convinces me that gender is nothing but a social construct.
Is that seriously the only argument he has? Yeah, dude, he's supposed to be such a logic lord, but in terms of the argument being provided, the only thing he actually has to say here is, you look like a man. Which, again, all old people look the same to me. I don't know, you know, but...
My fur girl just came up to me and asked if she could play with my Dumbo Trump flag. And I said, my Dumbo Trump flag? I don't have one of those. And yes, she calls him Dumbo. I just never corrected her. And she goes, yeah, you do. This one. And I feel like it's kind of profound. Did he ruin the flag for anybody else? Just me?
This is a little bit dumb. This isn't profound. Donald Trump was the president of the United States of America for 4 years, and Republican messaging heavily features the prominence of American flags. It's not strange that... Whatever. Oh, I don't care about this.
Maybe you should have exposed her to the American flag before Donald Trump did, and that would have been your solution right there. Maybe the reason that...
The kid's 4. What? The kid is 4. They're not even going to school yet. The only thing they would have seen is from, like, the TV with the news on.
She associates the flag with Trump is because you never taught her what an American flag was. And that one's on you. That one's on you.
When it comes to inclusive...
Wait. They're 4. Do the math. How long does a presidential term last, Ben? Think, Ben. Think! They weren't even alive when Obama was president. Where do you think they would have seen American flags? Probably, like, on the news, right? Who's always surrounded by the most American flags? Probably the president of the United States of America, whose national addresses are done in proximity to a flag, right? Right? All right. We got kind of a Kubrick stare going on with this one. When it comes to inclusive language,
oftentimes people tend to use phrases like people with penises or people with vaginas rather than saying male and female or men and women. While this can absolutely be inclusive for trans people, unfortunately it's not always the most inclusive language for intersex people. My advice is to use language that focuses on function and not just
What was that noise?
Vaginas rather than saying male and female or men and women. While this can absolutely be inclusive for trans people, unfortunately it's not always the most inclusive language for intersex people.
What was that? Did you hear that before the cut? Was there like an extra in the background who tripped over like a wire and fell face first into a trash can? Yeah. Then they like cut away from it. It was Ben laughing. Then why not keep the laugh?
My advice is to use language that focuses on function and not just form. That means focusing on the actual function that you're talking about.
Oh no.
Such as people who can get pregnant, people who can get other people pregnant, people who are at risk of testicular cancer, and so on and so forth. This is much more inclusive because there are intersex people who are born with a vagina but don't have a uterus.
I thought they were gonna say, like, fucker. Don't say people born with penises, say the fucker and the fucky. Focus on purpose. Say standing up or sitting down, okay? I don't know.
Or ovaries, or an ability to menstruate. This is because some people that are born with a penis don't have testes.
I think that from now on we should describe people by all of their biological features. All of them. So I think it should just get longer and longer. So it could be a person with a penis, but no testes, and also a uterus, but a prostate. Like that, I feel like that would be better than just saying intersex people. Honestly, I wonder how many intersex people really feel bad if you say that they are an intersex person, because that is a biological status, but isn't what they identify as the only thing that matters? I mean,
What? Why are his arguments always like this? This is what conservatives always try to do. The myth in conservative land is that trans people don't think sex exists, so they believe that trans women believe that there's no difference between trans women and cis women, which is why they always think it's an epic own when they say there's a difference between a penis and a vagina. Like, we know that. That's not the argument that we're having. And now they're saying it would be offensive for the term to be intersex. I have no idea. Also, what that TikTok person said is, I'm pretty sure, medically standard behavior, right? Like, aren't there organizations that are using terms like people who menstruate, or people who can get people who can be pregnant, or whatever, like stuff like that, you know? Medical organizations use terms like that because they're trying to hone in on the specific biological function they're talking about. When it comes to interpersonal speech, though, nobody really uses these terms. And also, I don't think trans women would appreciate it if you referred to them as people with penises as a sort of broad group prescription. Just generally speaking, that seems like something they wouldn't like very much. If you're referring to function, you can talk about function, but if you're talking about people, you should probably talk about, gender.
Why are we even trying to use objective metrics like whether they are a person who has a uterus in order to measure who they truly are inside? This lady's too inside.
Wait, they're not. Wait, Ben, that's not what this person is saying. This person is saying that you should refer to specific biological functions rather than a broad term for genitalia. They're not talking about identity. They're literally not talking about identity. This is like basic analysis. Ben, this isn't just a difference in opinion. You're wrong. You don't even understand the arguments. You're getting owned by TikTokers. It's so frustrating that videos like this can get millions of views when Ben is objectively incorrect in his responses to these. He could have good counter-arguments, but he doesn't even understand the positions that are being fronted.
Tolerant. This person who I presume to have a uterus, but have to make an assumption about. I think this person, gender offender bender,
I've got what they call gaydar,
is not sensitive enough, frankly.
What's the worst thing that
You could just go with they. I know you wanted to talk about their genitals. Well, I guess a uterus isn't genitals. Sex equipment.
that's gonna happen if you start believing that you're the hottest alive?
Here's what I don't like about that statement. Why do you want to say hottest instead of just hot? It's a superlative that implies competition. Is it because you're still basing your self-worth on how you compete with other hot bitches, aka women?
Oh, no.
Stop using superlatives!
This is
Oh, dear. Okay. I'm sorry, but don't let your sour grapes get in the way of other people being boss bitches, okay? Everyone can call themselves the hottest, okay? Why the fuck not, okay? You get one life. If you want to be the hottest, the cringest, the dabbiest, I'm the best at Bloodborne, just go for it, okay? But this, like, when people say stuff like, yeah, I'm the hottest bitch around, I don't actually think it's like a competitive statement, you know? Like, I don't actually think they're doing that as some kind of meaningful declaration against the rest of the world. In the same way that when I say I'm the best at X, I don't literally mean it as a. It's just like an affirmative statement, you know. And by the way, saying I'm hot, wouldn't that also just be like competition? Because people can only be hot in relative to some kind of standard, and if you're hot on that standard, there are people who are uglier than you. So wouldn't any acknowledgement of any personal like virtue be a kind of an indication that other people are below you on that ladder? You can argue maybe that is competitive and maybe it's not, but I don't think this is the right response to it, you know?
the stupidest thing that I've seen in at least the past 12 seconds. Yes, it turns out that life is filled with competition. It is well known by virtually every social science study that there is competition for mates. It is true in evolutionary biology. And so that competition does exist, and you can either pretend it doesn't exist, or you can recognize that it does.
This is live footage of Ben Shapiro wooing his doctor wife, by the way.
Virtually every social science study that there is competition for mates. It is true in evolutionary biology. And so that competition does exist, and you can either pretend it doesn't exist, or you can recognize that it does exist. But this person seems very, very angry about superlatives.
So one of the reasons why this is an incredibly stupid argument is that Ben Shapiro will, when it comes to stuff like this, rapidly oscillate between biological arguments and normative religious arguments, you know? So biologically, women should fuck men and women should fuck around and compete. There's no biological inclination for monogamy. You should just compete, and the people who are the strongest and most likely to survive will have the most children. Monogamy isn't a matter of sexual limitation. Monogamy is a matter of like social pair bonding to secure like child rearing. But when humans formed into tribes, we didn't even do that. In tribal societies, monogamy was not like the standard behavior in most human cultures, as I understand it. So biologically, humans fuck whatever, okay? But then he'll make normative religious arguments about how actually, you know, we should, like earlier he said like women who only have sex with people they are romantically interested in, that used to just be called women. Like that's a moralistic argument, but he'll switch back and forth between whatever, like, yeah, it's just pretty dumb.
Which makes them the craziest person that I've seen in the last few seconds, at least, because I'm watching these videos back to back, and frankly, I just want to run directly, like, screaming through a plate glass window.
A little bit of a snowflake tendency here, then, huh?
There are more? How many of these are there? You're gonna, like, Clockwork Orange me here and just pry my eyes open.
Guess what, my patience is run out.
No.
Pansexuality is not inherently biphobic.
I think I've seen this
They
one.
are both valid sexualities. Both of them. And while, yes, I have seen pansexual people use that label for questionable reasons.
Can I ask the younger people in my audience an honest question? Is there a reason why all of these, like, neo-pronoun etiquette lessons are delivered from people who've spent the past 40 minutes doing makeup? Is that necessary? Like, it just always seems like there has to be some... It looks good, though? Well, you know, we're all entitled to our opinions. Okay, it seems some people in chat think it looks good. So to me, they have them tattooed on their throat. That's actually kind of a power move. Look at that. I kind of respect that. That's kind of good. I like the them tattooed on their throat. That's like an incredibly strong... Dude, should I get he, him tattooed on my throat? Not that anyone would ever misgender me, like, intuitively, but that'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Like, yeah. Like, people are, like, all doing their pronouns and stuff, you know? And I point at my throat and I'm like, yeah. That'd be pretty funny, I think. That'd be good.
They pretty quickly get it once you explain things to them. They do. If you took all that energy you spend calling people biphobic and saying they're performing bi erasure and just educated them, there would be less biphobia. There would be less bi erasure. Because you've explained it, and people will know the difference. I've had it with you guys. Jesus
Okay, so I'm going to sum this up because this is the first time we've seen a TikTok that is actually confusing. In the past, all the ones Ben Shapiro has been confused by have been very straightforward. This one is actually rather confusing, and I'm going to explain it to you, okay? So, on the internet, there are people with no problems. None whatsoever. They live perfect, idyllic lives of sanctimonious harmony. But this is boring for them. So instead of living that life, they convince themselves that there's some kind of war between bisexual and pansexual people, when both of the terms mean basically the same thing, and there's really no reason to care, and it's all fine, and we don't need to talk about it, and it's okay. So that's the war they fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm teasing a little. I'm sure this person has, like, life problems anyway, but, like, yeah, yeah. The only difference between bi and pan in practical use is that they sound different, and some people like calling themselves one over the other. I prefer pan. I know people who prefer bi, and we both believe in and are attracted to the same things. It's just, it really is not worth arguing over, I don't think. I just don't think it's worth it.
What was that? I don't, was that in human English? I don't know what any of that means. I don't know why this person's yelling at me. I don't know why you guys are putting me through this. I don't know why I employ you.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
There's so many things I'm so confused about and troubled about right now. I think the only thing that we can take away from
That's not all he had to say? Okay. Well, at least this time his confusion is somewhat warranted. Watching that TikTok with no prior context is like the equivalent of diving 47 threads deep or pages deep into a giant thread on a shipping war on like a fandom website, okay? This is like going into like the Doctor Who fandom and just like clicking on a random page and then reading out loud a post and getting angry that you can't understand it. You are so deep in the weeds. It's so fucking far down the line.
This particular video is that no one should ever use TikTok for any reason.
Thank you!
Not only is it a Chinese propaganda tool, gathering all your data, but also it's filled with self-obsessed people who believe that what they have to say is very important, no matter how stupid or minute or ridiculous. With that said,
nice. As opposed to YouTube, which has no stupid people saying whatever comes to their mind. What? Why can't you be honest and just say that we should get rid of TikTok because it's full of, like, woke cringe Zoomers? Like, why can't you just say that? Like, be honest about it. Why, like, this performative moral thing? Like, yeah, no, it's just because it's full of cringy Zoomers. Yeah, okay, so anyway, I love this genre. I'm actually going to ask the audience here, if you want me to continue watching conservatives watch TikToks, I unironically delight in it, you know? I do delight in it. So if you're not bored of it, I'll continue going for it. But you do it, just say it in the YouTube comments, okay? Do it in the YouTube comments, because you guys are biased. You do it in the YouTube comments, okay? Just put it on down there. I genuinely, I need to know what the limit is and how much I can get away with this, okay?